Hello YouTube, it's Rom from Ramen Noodles TCG, and today I have a Bujin deck profile for you. So I played Bujin in the Moralltach Monthly 27, and for those of you who do not know what Moralltach Monthly is, it is a hat format tournament. That is 2014 NAWCQ format. Now, Bujin is one of the top decks. It's either the fourth or fifth best deck in the format, depending on who you ask. And yeah, it is a very fairly solid pick. It is a control deck revolving around Bujin Yamato, getting you searches every turn and just kind of sitting on him and protecting him and just playing a very slow, measured game. Yeah, the Bujins are divided into three categories. You have the Beast Warrior Bujins that you want to have on your field, the Winged Beast Bujins that you want to have in hand, and the Beast Bujins that you want to have in the graveyard. So for the Beast Warrior lineup, we are playing 3 Yamato, 1 Mikazuchi, and 2 Hirume, and 3 Tenki to search them. So this is a fairly standard lineup. Some people play 2 Mikazuchi. I'm considering 2 Mikazuchi. It's a very good card. Sometimes you can get away with 1 Hirume, but yeah, these flip-flop back and forth between 1 and 2 respectively. Yamato is the main guy. He's the searcher, and he makes all of your plays happen. If you can't find Yamato, you basically lose the game, which is why I'm playing so much consistency, but I'll talk about that later. So Mikazuchi, essentially, it allows your Bujins to float into him when they are destroyed, or the Beast Warrior Bujins. When they're destroyed, you can summon Mikazuchi from your hand, and if you discard a Bujin while Mikazuchi is on the field, you can grab a Bujin spell trap during your end phase, which is a really good way to make comeback plays. And yeah, it's a very solid card. A second one would definitely be warranted. Hirume is just a good extender. It banishes itself from banishes a Bujin from your graveyard to summon itself. And yeah, it's just a solid extender for rank 4 plays, and it also has 2000 attack, which is a pretty important threshold as it can clear something like a Girgia armor without being boosted by Tenki, which is pretty good. Yeah, just a solid card. So for the only Winged Beast Bujin we're playing 3 Crane. Crane is really good. It's basically an archetypal honest. During the damage calculation, it sets the a Beast Warrior Bujin's attack to double its original attack. This is what helps you keep your Bujins alive. You can grab Crane off of something like Yamato and then just punch over stuff and really play a really defensive game plan. Because we're playing Crane and we're a light deck, obviously we play Honest. This is just better Crane because it lasts until the end of the turn, whereas Crane only lasts until the end of that battle. For the Beast Bujins, I am playing 2 Hare, 2 Turtle. This is pretty standard. These guys offer you protection. You can banish Hare as a quick effect to target a Beast Warrior Bujin and protect it from battle or card effect once. And Turtle negates targeting effects that target your Beast Warrior Bujins. We were playing with pre-errata Turtle, so this does work in the damage step, which is really, really good. It's important to note for interactions like Firehand and a few others. Now, Quillen is just good removal. It's a solid optional one-of that I like a lot. Yeah, I think it comes up and it's pretty good. You could play something like Centipede that pops back row. You could play Sinew that's like kind of Crane. It has the battle damage, and it's a graveyard effect, which makes it a lot more telegraphed. But in low resource situations where you basically just have Yamato, Sinew's not bad, and it's pretty important in the mirror. But other than that, I don't think you need it. And Centipede popping back row is nice, but it doesn't come up enough for me to play it. And we're playing 2 of the Archetypal Reborn. Instead of playing Soul Charge, we play this because it's searchable, and it doesn't take our battle phase, which is really good. So it revives a banished Bujin and a Bujin in your graveyard. This restricts you from using them as Xyz materials, except for Beast Warrior and Beast, and I guess Wing Beast Xyz, even though there are none of them that we play. You only play 2 of this. It's searchable with Mikazuchi, and you don't want it clogging your hand if you play 3, but it comes up enough that the second one is warranted. Drawing it late game is really good, but it can clog your hand in the early game. So 2 is the perfect ratio. This is pretty standard. For consistency, I am playing 3 Pot of Duality and 3 Upstart. All of these consistency boosting cards are necessary because if you can't see Yamato, you basically lose the game. So these are basically mandatory. Sometimes you can side out an Upstart in certain matchups, just where you need to put in more stuff. It's okay. And Max C is obviously a very good card. It's a staple in the format for a reason. Speaking of staples, I am playing the Limit 1 staples: Dark Hole, Torrential, Solemn Warning, Compulse, and Bottomless. As for other staples, I am playing 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill. Breakthrough Skill is nice. Not only is it a good generic negation trap, but it has a graveyard effect, so it is essentially free value to discard off of Yamato, which something like Fiendish Chain is not, which is really good. Forbidden Chalice and Forbidden Lance help you protect your Yamato. So Lance protects you from trap cards like Bottomless, and Chalice negates artifacts, or I guess any form of removal that comes from a monster, without having to set something like a Breakthrough Skill first. This is generally a big problem for Bujins because the artifacts don't target, so you can't turtle them. So Chalice is really important for those sorts of things. Now, another card I was considering for going second scenarios is Foolish Burial. You can Foolish Burial before you normal summon, dumping either a hare or a turtle in order to protect your normal summon. I could see myself playing the one Foolish and then siding it out going first for a floodgate of some kind. Speaking of floodgates, some astute viewers who are familiar with this format historically may be surprised that I am not playing Kaiser Coliseum. Now, Kaiser Coliseum is, it was very much standard in Bujins, and it's an okay card, but it's kind of dead going second in a lot of matchups, and I didn't really want to brick on it. I'd much rather have this 40. Maybe I could cut like one of these one-ofs for Kaiser Coliseum, but I don't think that's a good idea. I think the traps are better, to be honest. They're more impactful. Kaiser Coliseum, I could definitely see playing on the side. Maybe if I play the Foolish Burial, I can swap out the Foolish Burial for Kaiser Coliseum when I'm going first. But I felt like my sideboard was a lot more impactful as is. Speaking of my side deck, I am playing 3 DD Crow. There's a lot of graveyard interaction in hat format, and Crow is really important. All of the combo decks lose to DD Crow. You can DD Crow artifacts, you can hit Mermail with DD Crow. It's very versatile and very strong. 3 MST for back row. 1 Mind Control to take level 4 monsters and then Xyz with them. Mind Control felt kind of limp this tournament. Bujin uses its normal summon. It needs to stick a normal summon very much. So having to normal summon a monster and then waste it overlaying with a random monster feels kind of bad. So I might cut this, maybe for the Kaiser Coliseum next time, but it was okay, I suppose. Wiretap is good for going first. It's good against decks like Geargia and Hat. Yeah, it's just a good card. I couldn't find space for a third one, and I don't think I would need 3. This is the kind of thing I'd take out Chalice for going first. Yeah, it's just solid. 2 Debunk, 1 Mind Crush. This is for the Mirror and for Mermail. So you can Mind Crush in the Bujin Mirror to snipe Cranes and Honest out of your opponent's hand. And if your opponent activates a Mermail in hand, you can Mind Crush the Mermail, which is very devastating. I don't think Mermail is a particularly hard matchup, but because Debunk is good in a lot of other scenarios, and Mind Crush is really good in the Bujin mirror, and so is Debunk, to be fair, I think these are definitely worth playing. DNA Surgery, I'm not super sold on. The idea behind this is that you can call Beast Warrior to not only make your own Bujins all Beast Warriors, so you can boost something like a Hare with Crane, but it can mess with some of the other decks in the format. I cited this in against Geargia, and it worked pretty well. My opponent was not able to make Geargigant X, and it ended up losing him the game, which it felt okay, but I'm not sure how reliable this card is. I've just started playing this. The main scenario that it's theorized to be good in is in the Spellbook matchup. That matchup is awful. That is easily the worst matchup for Bujins. There's so much removal flying around, and you don't get much value out of punching over something like a Blue Boy. So you're just kind of swinging into dead air, essentially, and they just get so much value, and you struggle to keep up. It's really rough. So DNA Surgery is to turn off things like Spellbook of Fate, and yeah, mostly Spellbook of Fate, and I think Master as well. But you probably still lose that matchup anyway, so maybe it's not worth playing. I might experiment with cutting this. We'll see. Moving on to the extra deck, we have 3 copies of Susanoo. This is the main Bujin Xyz. It is not only a searcher, but it can attack all of your opponent's monsters. This is really good for clearing big fields, especially in matchups like Geargia. This comes up a lot. You might not need 3, but most of your games you never summon anything except Susanoo, so playing 3 is definitely worth it. Tsukiyomi and Kagetsuchi are the other Bujin Xyz I'm playing. They come up significantly less often, but Tsukiyomi can be handy with some weird hands, especially when you get a lot of the little Bujins, and you want to discard stuff like Hare and Turtle to fix your hand. Also, the floating effect is pretty nice in certain scenarios. It could have come up in the finals if I had seen the line. And yeah, it's just an alright card. Kagetsuchi, it's a little harder to summon, but it mills 5, so it can hit stuff like Hare and Turtle, and it protects your Bujins. This is very important in the Bujin mirror, which I actually happened to play for the first time. That was kind of a nightmare. But yeah, it's very important in the mirror, and it's just a good card. You summon these so infrequently that you never need more than 1 of each. The other Bujin Xyz, you never summon. Bujinki Amaterasu, because it needs 3 level 4s, and it's a massive resource sink. It gets you back resources, but it's just not worth it. It's too slow. Too slow by Bujin standards. That's sad. So yeah, it's just too slow. I don't play this. If you play it, you'll probably just never summon it. And I mean, the extra deck is not super tight in Bujins, so it's not a huge deal, but it just never comes up. Constellar Omega is just a guy that's immune to back row. It's okay. It's a Beast Warrior, so you can make it with Bujin Carnation monsters, which is nice. Diamond Direwolf is very much the same. Direwolf is incredible in this deck because you can Bujin Carnation back your stuff like Turtle, Hare, and Quillen to reset them, popping one of your opponent's cards with Direwolf, and especially if you have 2 Bujin Carnation live, it's really, really good. You can get the Direwolf pop, and then Bujin Carnation to make Susanoo, and then make a big push. It's very strong. Heartland Draco is a cute tech. It's also fairly standard in this deck. There's nothing too crazy in this list. But Heartland Draco lets you attack directly if you control a face-up spell, like Tenki. Yeah, it's just a solid card. I'm playing some more generic Xyz like Dweller, Exciton Knight, Double Silent Monarch, Ragnazero, Korn, and Rhapsody. I think I summoned Korn and Rhapsody once each. Silent Honorarch, I like playing 2 on a lot of different decks because it's just such a strong card. I never summoned it once this tournament. I'll probably cut it down to 1. I think I could replace the second one with a Gauger Cowboy or something else. Yeah. That was the list. Let me go over my tournament run real quick. So, round 1, I beat Artifact Trap Tricks. Round 2, I beat Constellar. Round 3, I played against Chaos Hands. That was a very unique experience. I won that match as well. I lost to Artifact Trap Tricks in round 4. I believe it was Fire Fist Artifact Trap Tricks or Fat, but it was a hybrid between Hand Artifact Trap Tricks and Fat, so it was a hybrid between Cat and Hat. It was Fat and Hat. It was pretty odd, but it ended up topping, so props to that guy. Round 5, my opponent never showed up, and I beat a Geargia player in round 6. My top cut run was pretty odd. My top 8 match was against Artifact Archfiend, which I was shocked to see that. It was a very interesting deck. I feel really proud of that match because I was able to predict a debunk in game 3, and I played around it expertly, and it won me the match. I played a very scuffed Bujin mirror in top 4 and managed to take it. I lost to Heraldic Beast in the finals. I bricked game 1 and had a pretty rough start game 2. But yeah, congratulations to the Heraldic Beast player. I actually want to have him on the channel at some point, so stay tuned for that deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more hat content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.